I came home from a 12-hour install, kicked the door shut with my boot, and Jenna was already in the hallway like a welcoming committee. Arms around my neck. Big smile. Too big. Hey, stranger. Hey, yourself. She smelled like citrus and a candle I'd never bought. Her phone lay face down on the counter, which wasn't new, but the lock screen was dimming, like she'd just tapped it. And the good girl tone came with a small mismatch. Her shoulders were tight. Her eyes were bright in a way that meant she'd decided something without telling me. You hungry? She tugged me toward the kitchen. I made that chicken you like. You hate making that chicken. I'm branching out. I set my tool bag down. The pan was still hot, the timer on the oven blinking 0:01. She'd plated it like a magazine spread. It was nice. It just didn't match the half-second she flinched when I reached for her phone to move it out of the way. If I'd known where this was headed, I'd tell you. I'd have eaten the chicken in the truck and saved the talk for later. We ate. She filled the air with light stories about coworkers I'd never met and a new girls' group she was trying. She'd never had a girls' group. Not in 8 years. She laughed on the wrong beats. My fork hit the plate a little harder than usual. So, I tested the water. How late is this new group going tonight? Not tonight. She sipped water. Tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe. Depends if everyone's free. Everyone. Right. I cut into the chicken. Which friends are we talking about again? Just, you don't know them. Kelsey. Or Kara. I keep mixing them up. She smiled at her plate. I let that sit. The oven fan hummed. The timer's plastic cover had a crack I hadn't seen before. Small things. They add up. If you're out late, I told her, give me a heads up. Not a text at midnight from a bar bathroom. Wow. She set her fork down. That's specific. I install heavy glass all day. I don't enjoy playing guessing games at night. She nodded like I'd ordered mulch. Sure. Heads up. Got it. If I'd known the price of that one sentence, I'd have recorded it. I stacked dishes. She touched my arm. You okay? Fine. You're quiet. You're different, I said. Pick one. She blinked twice, then exhaled through her nose. I'm not different. I'm tired. I kissed her cheek, then the top of her head. We're both tired. Let's not be tired and vague. I'm not vague. She smiled again, too quickly. You're being dramatic. Tomorrow, I said. If you go, tell me before you disappear. That's all. She nodded. Sure. I wanted to believe her. The next night, I was in the shop late, cutting a custom jam for a weird opening, when Sam stuck his head in my bay. You're still here? Your wife let you out after dark. She's with friends, I said, fitting the jam. New crew. You ever heard of a Kelsey or Kara? Sounds like a brand of candles. He leaned on the doorframe like he owned the place. You look like a guy doing math he doesn't want to do. I'm doing hardware lead times. I wiped the chisel on a rag. And, yeah, a little math. He gave me that barber mirror stare only someone who's scrambled through 2 divorces can give. Do you want to stop doing the math? Or do you want to get it right? Get it right. Then treat it like a job. Verify, then trust. Like a job, I repeated. We finished up. I texted Jenna at 8. Got a reply at 9:30. Still with the girls. Don't wait up. Heart emoji that looked cut and paste. When I got home, the house smelled like vanilla. A different candle. The bedroom was made like a hotel. Her shirt on the chair was inside out, tag sticking up. I'm not a detective. I'm just a guy who notices when the puzzle pieces are from 2 different boxes. She rolled in at something past 10 and breezed straight to the bathroom, talking from the mirror. It was fun. Finally some time for me, you know? We did trivia. Where? Near the mall. What place? She rinsed her face. I forgot the name. We've lived here 14 years, I reminded. We could navigate this town by smell. I'm serious. It's new. What's your friend's last name? Mark, why are you quizzing me? Because I care where my wife is, I told her. Wild concept. She paused, towel on her cheek. You know what? I don't love that tone. And I don't love guessing. Heads up was the deal. I texted you. An hour and a half after. Her jaw shifted. Okay, I'm hearing you don't like it. Noted. What I'm not hearing is the name of the place. It's not a courtroom. No, I said. It's a marriage. She stood in the door. Do not make this into a thing. There it was. The tone that turned a straight line into fog. I didn't rise. I didn't chase. I set down my phone, took my wallet from the dresser, and made a small adjustment. Saturday's couple dinner at Ryan's, I said. I'm out. What? We RSVP'd. You can go, I said. I'm rebuilding the workbench. I'm not going to sit around nodding while you check your phone under the table. That's so unfair. Fair is me saying what I won't show up for. You're punishing me. I shook my head. I'm setting my schedule. If you want me at events, keep me in the loop like I asked. That's not how. It is now. She stared a beat too long, then pasted on a smile. You know what? Fine. I'll tell you earlier next time. Can we sleep? Please. We turned off the light. Somewhere downstairs, the new candle kept burning. I kept to my shift. Sam and I knocked out a storefront Monday, then a rainy Tuesday run of shower doors. Wednesday, Jenna swung the pendulum. She was already up when I came back, wearing the blue dress I buy her every excuse to wear. Dinner on the stove, my favorite baseball game on mute. You're early, I said. I came home for you. Generous. She tilted a wine glass. Truce. I nodded. Over what? You being stressed. Me being distracted. Work's been heavy. I'm sorry if I've been weird. I leaned a hip against the counter. There it is. The word. What word? Sorry. She stepped closer. I mean it. Let me make it up to you this week. Home nights. No late trivia. Good, I said. I'll clear my evenings. She grinned at the stove. See? Communication. I'll even send you my schedule like a dork. I'll hold you to it. She did exactly that for 6 days. She was soft. Attentive. Phone down. She showed up at my job on Friday with pizza for the crew, made Sam blush with how proud she was of me. On Saturday, she sat on the tailgate of my truck outside the supply house, tapping my boot with hers. You still mad at me? She asked. I wasn't mad. You were something. I was paying attention. She put her chin on my shoulder. Keep doing that. I smiled at the concrete. Plan to. The week was good enough to look like a cure. But good things break when they're props. And props snap loud. Sunday, a week to the day she promised, home nights. I ran a morning call to swap a pain, then hit the grocery store. I texted her on the way back. Need anything? Maybe dessert, she replied. Brownies okay? Perfect. When I pulled in, the house was quiet. 2 mugs in the sink. Her shoes gone from the mat. No note. I set the brownies on the counter. Jenna? Nothing. I checked the garage. Empty. Bedroom. Empty. Her phone charger wasn't humming. The bathroom light was off, but her makeup bag had been tossed through like someone sprinted. I stood over the counter, then picked up my own phone. A week earlier, when she was doing schedule transparency, I'd suggested, very casually, we both switch on location sharing in the family app, like when you're driving on installs, she'd said, pecking my cheek. So I know when to heat dinner. She tapped it on then. I'd left mine on too. I opened hers. It pulsed on the south side. A little strip mall area with an Italian place we both liked. The name she couldn't remember. My finger hovered over call. I didn't call. I grabbed my keys, locked the door, and drove. The restaurant was busy but soft, that early evening lull before big parties. I told the hostess I was meeting someone and walked the perimeter like a contractor measuring trim. I saw her fast. I saw him a split second later. Tyler, the ex who used to drop into conversations like a stray commercial. The ex who wasn't a problem because we dated in college and it's hilarious now. He was less hilarious with his hand on the base of her wine glass. I didn't slow down. I slid into the empty chair at their table like it had always been mine and set my keys in front of him. Evening, I greeted. Jenna blinked. Mark, don't worry, I told her. I won't order. Looks like you already did the tasting menu. Tyler tried for a neutral smile. Hey man. Tyler, I nodded. We finally meet. I've heard too much. He cleared his throat. We were just catching up, I finished. Right? Old times, new lies. You keeping score, or is it more of a vibe check? Jenna's smile went thin. Can we not do this here? Where do you prefer? The car? The bedroom? The group chat with Kara or Kelsey? Her jaw fluttered. You're embarrassing yourself. No, I said. I'm embarrassing you. Don't confuse the direction. Tyler's hand left the wine glass. Look, I don't want any. You already ordered any, pal, I said easy. But good news, I'm low maintenance. I just came to say hi and clear one thing up. Jenna says you two are just friends. Now, my definition of friend doesn't include the way your eyes just dropped to her ring and flicked back up like you were checking inventory. Maybe that's updated since college. Help me out. Jenna glanced around the room. A couple at the next table pretended not to listen. A server brought bread and then immediately remembered he had somewhere else to be. "Stop it," Jenna hissed. "You're being petty. I'm being present. That's not the same thing." Tyler tried again. "This is complicated." "It could be simple," I said. "Simple as telling me up front you're doing dinner with a man who used to date you. Simple as not hiding behind trivia night." Jenna's eyes flashed. "I never said trivia." "Right," I agreed. "You said girls," which turned out to be singular. "With stubble." She leaned in, voice low. "I can meet friends, Mark." "So can I," I said. "Watch." Tyler swallowed. "We're friends, man. That's it." "I can tell," I said. "The electricity in your shoulders screams platonic." He looked at his plate. Jenna tapped her nails on her water glass. "I'm leaving," she announced, grabbing her purse. "Stay," I told her, calm. "I don't want to ruin your night. I just wanted to stop by and make sure the seating chart's accurate." "Get up," she ordered. "In a second," I said. "Tyler, quick question. Did your wife know you'd be here?" He blinked. "Why would she?" "I'm not." "Oh," I nodded. "Okay, that answers that." Jenna stood. "We're going." I stood too, but not to leave. I slipped my wallet out and dropped a 20 on the table. "For the bread I didn't eat. You are not paying." "I pay for what I touch." "Then pay for this mess," she snapped. I smiled at her, then at him. "You two enjoy the marinara. I'll let you get back to friendship. Try the tiramisu. It pairs well with denial." Tyler stared at the keys on the table like they were a grenade. Jenna watched me like I'd grown a second head. "Half an hour," I said, checking my watch. "That's all I had to give. Sorry to crash your date." I left them there, walked out into the evening like I'd stepped off a stage, and drove home under a sky that wasn't asking me any questions. I'd barely turned the key when the front door flew open. Jenna came in like a storm front. "What was that?" Her voice ricocheted off the hallway. "What exactly was that?" I set my wallet down. "That was me meeting your friend. You humiliated me." I introduced myself. I made polite conversation. I even left before dessert. "You're paranoid." "I'm observant." "You think you can just." "You're right," I cut in. "I can't just anything. So let's do this clean. If you want to keep seeing Tyler, you can. You just won't be married to me while you do." She gaped at me. "We are not doing ultimatums. You started it when you made reality optional." "I cannot believe you," she said, pacing a tight rectangle. "He is my friend. We went to the same program. Then invite him to a reunion. We have history." I noticed. She jabbed the air. "You owe him an apology." I blinked at her. "I owe him. For what you did tonight. You made him feel small." "He did that by himself." "He did nothing wrong," she declared. I let that sentence hang. The room felt like late January. "You just heard yourself say nothing wrong about a man you used to date sitting across from you in a restaurant while I'm home buying brownies for dessert. And you want me to apologize to him?" Her chin was high. "Yes. Or we're done. Those are the options." I asked. "They are." I set my truck keys in my palm. "Okay." She folded her arms. "Okay, what?" "I'll apologize." She blinked, surprised at the speed. "You will?" "Sure," I said lightly. "You want me to apologize to him?" "I'll do it right now." "Tomorrow," she blurted. "Why tomorrow?" "It's late. You said he deserves it." "He does," she snapped. "Just not tonight. He's already had enough of you for one day." I smiled. "We shouldn't push anything to tomorrow that we can settle today." She grabbed my sleeve. "Mark, don't do this." "You made the rules," I reminded, easing my arm free. "I'll play." Her eyes went wide in a way that wasn't about me anymore. There was panic there. Not fear I'd yell. Fear I'd knock over a different line. "What are you going to do?" she demanded. "Exactly what you asked." "I swear to you if you want something from me," I said calm. "You'll get it. Go make tea." I stepped outside. She followed me to the porch, still firing words. I shut the truck door over them and drove. Tyler lived 10 minutes away in a gentrified pocket with square trees and narrow driveways. I parked on the street, stepped out, and walked up his front path like a delivery he hadn't ordered. Warm light pooled from the living room. A TV muttered behind the windows. I knocked. Feet moved. The lock clicked. The door opened to Tyler in a sweatshirt, the color gone from his earlier bravado. "Mark," he said softly, "this is not a good evening." I returned. I owe you something. You don't owe. An apology, I said, per my wife's instruction. His mouth opened and closed. He started to step out. I put a palm lightly on the door to keep it half open. Is now good? I asked. Dude, listen, she's. Who is it? A woman's voice called from inside. We both froze for the space of a heartbeat. Then a woman came into view from the hall, tying her robe, confused. She was mid-30s, dark hair, clear eyes that had done math faster than mine. Who is it, Ty? She asked, looking from him to me. Tyler tried to backpedal. Nobody. Wrong house. I smiled at her. Not wrong house. Sorry to drop in late. Name's Mark. I stopped by to apologize to your husband for my behavior earlier. I was less than charming about him taking my wife out for dinner. She stared. You're what? My wife, I repeated. She was at that Italian place with him less than an hour ago. I came in, said hi, and left. She didn't blink. My husband was at work an hour ago. I glanced at Tyler. Work's been redefined tonight, I guess. Laura, he started. She looked at him like he was a stranger wearing his face. You were at work. Tyler swallowed. I was finishing paperwork at the restaurant. You know how. It's okay, I told Laura. Take your time. I just promised my wife I'd say sorry to him for interrupting their friendship. So, Tyler, I'm sorry for the tone. I was abrupt. I should have called ahead. Laura shifted her gaze to me again. You're serious. I wish I wasn't. I stepped back on the stoop so I wasn't crowding her door. Anyway, mission accomplished. The rest is between you two. She nodded slowly, then faster, like she'd matched puzzle pieces too. Tyler tried to step out again. She put a flat palm to his chest. A quiet, efficient move. No drama. Just a new boundary. Mark, she said, voice steady. Thank you for stopping by. You're welcome. I walked down the path. Behind me, I heard nothing for 2 seconds. Then Laura's voice, low and exact. Start with the truth. I got in the truck. The porch light was steady. My phone lit up with Jenna's name. Then again, then a text. Do not go there. I drove home. She was waiting, pacing the living room with the energy of a pulled fire alarm. When I opened the door, she pounced. What did you do? What you asked? What did you say to him? Sorry. Her eyes bored into me. And nothing, I said. Well, I might have said it at his front door. Out loud. You went to his house. You demanded an apology. I delivered the premium package. You are unbelievable. Thanks. Is his wife there? I shrugged a shoulder. She was. What did you tell her? The truth. That you and Tyler had dinner. She threw her hands. Why would you do that? Because you asked me to apologize, I said. Not to collude. You ruined everything. Define everything. She was breathing hard like the words took oxygen. You don't get to blow up my life because you felt insecure at a restaurant. I didn't blow anything up, I said evenly. I named what was in front of me. If it can't stand daylight, that's not on me. She stared. Then the anger turned and sharpened. You know what? Pack your things. Go stay in a hotel. We'll talk when you've calmed down. No. She blinked. Excuse me. This is my house, I said. I built the shelves, the cabinets, picked the screws and the hinges. I'm not leaving my home because you made a mess. You can't make me leave. I'm not making you do anything, I said. I'm giving you a choice. You have 1 hour to gather what you want for the next few days. Your closet, your laptop, your skincare army, whatever. After that, I'm changing the lock. We'll figure the rest like adults, with paperwork, during daylight. She stepped back like the air had shifted. That's not happening. You've already used 10 minutes arguing, I told her, checking my watch. 50 to go. This is insane. What's insane is you ordering me to apologize to your dinner date and then yelling because I did it efficiently. Her face flickered. He is my friend. I nodded. I'll remember that when someone asks why my wife moved out on a Sunday night. She stared. The silence stretched. Finally, she grabbed her purse. Fine, she said, voice clipped. I'm not staying here with you like this. I didn't ask you to. She walked to the door, then turned. You are going to regret this. Maybe, I answered, but at least I'll regret it in a quiet house. She slammed the door. I stood a second in the stillness she left, and then got the spare deadbolt from the garage. 30 minutes later, the lock turned cleanly under my hand. I put her keys on the hall table in an envelope, wrote her name, and set it where she couldn't miss it. I slept on my side of the bed because I sleep better there. In the morning, I made coffee, put on a clean work shirt, and drove to the county clerk's office on my way to a shower door repair. My phone buzzed while I was in the parking lot. Jenna, why can't I get into our house? I answered, because it's not our when one person uses it like a stage. You don't live there right now. Try Tyler's. His wife will be thrilled to host. 20 minutes later, as I was pulling straps over a crate, a new text blinked. He ended it. Because of you. You did this. I watched the dots try to form another sentence. Then I pressed the information button, scrolled, and hit block. No speech. No flourish. Just a new setting. She didn't call from another number. She didn't show up at the shop. Silence works when you finally step into it. 3 weeks forward, a number I didn't know popped up while I was halfway through mounting a fixed panel. I let it go to voicemail. Then curiosity won. Hi, Mark. A woman's voice said, steady but warm. It's Laura. From the porch. I hope this isn't out of line. I wanted to thank you and to ask if we could talk. No pressure. I called back after we finished the pane and swept up glass dust. She picked up on the second ring. Hey, she said. It's Laura. Good timing, I answered. I just want to fight with a stubborn shower clip. She laughed once. I don't want to derail your day. I wanted to say you did the right thing. That night, you were blunt, but you were clean. Blunt is my only setting. That's better than slippery, she said, and you could hear years of context in that word. I'd like to buy you coffee and say thank you like a human, not a voicemail. You can say no. I can say yes, I told her. We met at a little spot near the park. She was calmer than in the doorway, the kind of calm that comes after you decide to accept the receipt. I signed papers, she said, after we ordered. He tried to fix a version of the story that rested on air. I chose ground. Good choice. She smiled like she hadn't used those muscles in a while. You okay? I'm better, I said. The clerk stamped mine yesterday. How's Jenna? I sipped coffee. Back with her parents, last I heard, in the little town 2 hours west. Hard to pay rent when you burn bridges on both ends. Laura nodded. I'm not gloating. Me neither. I thought you were crazy, you know, she admitted. At the door. I almost told you to get off my porch. You should have, I grinned. It would have been funny later. What stopped me was his face when you said restaurant. He looked like a freshman explaining a hangover to his coach. Honesty is tells. She held my look. Well, thank you for handing me the truth without throwing me at it. That matters. It matters to me too, I said. It's how I try to conduct myself. Clean cuts. We sat another hour. We talked about small things. Jobs. Her sister's dog. The way the neighborhood pretends to be friendlier than it is. Nothing flirtatious. Nothing heavy. Just human. When we stood, she touched my elbow. I'd like to do this again, she said. Not as therapy. Just because you're easy to be around. Same. We didn't sprint. We didn't label it. We just started meeting for coffee, then walks, then dinners with the good kind of silence. If you've ever been around someone who doesn't need a performance from you, you know the difference. Now the part people care about like a scoreboard. My life is smaller and better. I moved to a 2-bed ranch that backs onto a creek, with a garage big enough for the workbench I kept threatening to build. I bought an old pickup with honest paint. The shop's doing well. I picked up 2 contractors who like that I show up when I say I will. Sam comes over on Saturdays. We watch the game with the sound low and make fun of announcers' cliches. I sleep. That's not a poetic way to say I'm at peace. I mean I sleep 7 hours without waking to a mood I didn't cause. Laura and I see each other regularly. She's got her own place. No neediness. No tests. She knows what it's like when someone tells you half of a story and asks you to clap. We don't rush. When we need space, we say so. When we say dinner at 6, we show up at 5:55 like grown-ups. As for Jenna, I don't track her anymore. I turned mine off too. Last I heard through the grapevine, she's back home with her parents. Working part-time, telling a version of events where I overreacted to a meal. She didn't get the house, didn't get the equipment, didn't get the truck. Not because I set out to punish. Because I drew a line in my own doorway and stood on it. People ask if I regret how I handled the restaurant or the porch. I don't. I gave everyone the gift of daylight. Jenna wanted an apology? She got it. Tyler wanted discretion? He didn't earn it. Laura deserved facts? She got them. I wanted a life where my home wasn't a prop in someone else's story. I have that now. If there's a lesson, it's boring and hard. Pay attention, and when respect leaves, follow it out the door. Don't shout. Don't negotiate your worth with someone who's already sold it at a discount. Change the lock. Change the schedule. Don't make a speech at the end. Leave one clean sentence and walk. Mine was simple. When Jenna texted that morning asking why she couldn't get into our house, I told her the truth. You can't get into my house, I wrote. Try your friends. His wife will welcome you. I sent it. I blocked the number. I went to work and installed a door that fit better than the one before. That's the job. Verify, then trust. And if the frame is crooked, you don't argue with it. You pull it, plane it, and set a new one that closes like it should.